You're listening to Moviesucktastic.
I do not have a vagina. And he does not have a penis. We don't have genitals.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. I have all the genitals.
Do you guys ever think about dying?
Scott, do you have all the genitals?
Hakurimi Sokabakanakam. But rush to the right, to my side. Nice and crowd.
Gesundheit.
Hey, what? I'm sorry. Sorry, wrong meeting. Yes. I do have all the genitals, Joey.
You got them all.
Yes. Welcome to Moviesucktastic, everyone.
Thought you
We're
did.
coming to you. We're coming to you from World War II this time with the last Oscar film review on Moviesucktastic. I'm Scott. That's Joey.
Yo. So yeah, we're reviewing The Zone of Interest, which, I mean, even just as a concept, it's actually it's an interesting concept because, and again, spoiler, whatever you want to call it. If you haven't seen this and you don't want to know anything, do not listen to this episode. You see nothing. You see
Right.
nothing from what's going on the other side of the wall. What you do get is you hear everything. You hear the sound of the ovens, the furnaces running, which is prominent. It is just background noise. And what this film does, which is pretty incredible what it does, just like if you were actually there at that moment, at that time, you are hearing it as they are hearing it, because it is happening all day and pretty much all night. And it is a constant.
I'd love to touch on the actual sound design a bit later, but I want to take a step back.
Okay.
Since you jumped in there, I mean, you're right. That is like the main draw of this film, I think, is the sound. But I wanted to take a step back for a moment. This film, The Zone of Interest, is a literary adaptation of a novel, and it is based on a Martin Amis book. And the name escapes me at the moment, but the point is, it is not. It is loosely adapted from the Martin Amis book. You got the idea from it. The Amis novel is about a commandant in Auschwitz, based on what's his name, Haas. Yeah, Haas. Based on the character was based on Haas in the novel, and it's about Haas, whatever. I'm not putting on a German accent.
Haas.
Right. So, no, Haas.
Hoisenberry.
So in the novel, a character based on Rudolf Haas, who is an actual person, it's dealing with his wife who's having an affair with some other guy she met, and it's about this affair taking place, during Auschwitz. So it's loosely adapted because
the book talks about
right,
that.
because
Yeah.
Jonathan Glazer read the book, and what he found fascinating was the idea of living at Auschwitz. And so and what I like about his adaptation is, like I said, the book was like loosely based on Haas,
Well,
and
the whole affair thing, it's interesting you mentioned that, because there is a scene later on where she's in the greenhouse with the quote-unquote gardener or the handyman guy, and they just are looking at each other while they both smoke a cigarette. But you get the impression it's like, yeah, they're fucking. So that's in there for that. I didn't actually know that plot line from the book, and it just makes sense now that scene exists in the movie.
Yeah. And what Jonathan Glazer did was like, well, fuck that. I'm basing it on the real people. So all the military people you see in this film are real German military people. It's all historically accurate.
Oh, wow.
They went as far as to you talked about the sound design. The sound editor amassed this huge library, and they based the sounds on historical documentation of what was happening at Auschwitz at that time period.
Yeah, it's impressive.
So
it really
to the
is.
point where they even measured out the distances too. So it would depend how loud or soft it was depending on where it was in the actual Auschwitz camp. Attention was paid to detail in this film.
Yeah, like there are scenes where it's further away from the camp, and obviously because of the way sound travels, but you can still hear it. You know, no matter where you are in this film, unless you are in a different part, like a different area other than that area, you hear it all the time. Like when they're at, the headquarters, and obviously you don't hear anything because it's too far away. Those are really the only times that you're not hearing these ovens, and the sounds of what's going on over the walls. That's
the ovens, the screams, the work, the occasional gunfire.
Yeah.
It's just all sorts of, and again, different languages based on what kind of people were kept there. At one point of the film, there's these interstitial. The film's broken up by a few moments of blind silence. The film starts with a blind silence. It's like after the title
ends that way.
out.
But yes, as a matter of fact, Mayor's like, "Is there something wrong with this copy?" I go, "I doubt it," and I go, "This is obviously, it's a metaphor. This is
not a metaphor."
Well, when I was talking about it initially with her, I go, "This is something," and then we realized
it's something. It's
so,
definitely on purpose.
So, no,
this isn't Anatomy of a Fall
the
yet.
conversation I had with her when it was happening, I go, I don't know if this is a metaphor. It could be, but I go, this is on purpose.
This wasn't an Anatomy of a Fall situation. Listen to that for that story.
I was thinking about that review just to touch on it, where you had your theory and I had my theory. Well, hold on. Where it was like the director had it open to interpretation, and where like you disagreed with me what I thought, and I was like, you know what? No one can disagree with anyone because it's open for interpretation. Like no one can is wrong.
I can definitely disagree with you.
You can, but
I still do.
There's no point to do it because it is so open to interpretation.
My being is based on that,
yes,
Joey. I have no choice.
I've known you for my whole life.
So like the film opens like literally like 4 or 5 minutes of just the screen black, but you hear just the murmurs of the camp. Nothing major going on at that time, but it's showing you, it introduces you to the idea that you need to listen. And it reminds you in another shot of the film later, it happens a couple times. Also, there's a couple of scenes that are shot in negative. I don't want to go too, but two of the 3 negative scenes, or 2 of the 4 negative scenes, 3 of the 4 negative scenes involve this local migrant girl, a local girl, local village girl, who steals apple. And this is based on a true story. Who would steal apples and hide them in the camp for the prisoners, so they had something to eat. But yeah, those scenes break up the film as well as those. So the film gives you moments where you need to take a step back and relax and stop listening, and you can, But then at the other scenes, it reminds you to listen. It's really good. I started rambling a bit there. You wanna?
No. And the thing is too, just to touch on the sound is so good on this. I had to actually readjust because I have a sound bar and a subwoofer for it for surround sound. I had to actually readjust it because it's like the bass on this, it's a little too high, and you don't realize it until you watch a movie like this because it relies heavily on sound.
I highly recommend headphones if you have a chance to watch this film with headphones. You really want to immerse yourself in the experience of this film.
Like what I need to do is I need to watch this again on the because I have a true 5.1 surround system downstairs where it's a Sonos system, so it completely engulfs the room. Like sound bounces off walls. Like you do this whole calibration thing with it. I need to watch it down here on that setup, and I can guarantee you I'll have even a bigger appreciation for the sound.
Now, in contrast to the constant noise outside, or even when you're in the house too, or whenever you're always hearing the Auschwitz, the camp, in the background. The contrast of that you may not notice, may not realize it as a contrast at first, is the silence of the family.
Oh,
there are long silences, very little talking, brief instructions, orders, any dialogue, any chatting is very brief and to the point. There's not a lot of talking, and in the silence. And it's almost a purposeful silence because no one's talking about it, no one's mentioning it. It's everything. Life is normal. Everything's as it is. And first half, the first 15, 20 minutes will be frustrating for some people because you've got this, you know Auschwitz is over there and they're doing it on purpose, but the housewife is just like going through and doing things, and then like out of nowhere one of the guys from camp come by. He's a prisoner and he's got a bag of stuff. He's like, okay, give me the bag, and then he dumps it out, and it's obviously clothing they've taken from prisoners, and like she tells the stat, her cooks and maids, like, everybody pick one each, and it goes back and no one says anything about it, but everybody's looking through them, and you're just like, Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, and they do stuff like that, like later on at night where the kid's like up late, say, what are you looking at? Teeth. And he's got like Jewish gold teeth, or more than Jews were killed, but like teeth, gold teeth. There's like, what the fuck is this? But it's the silence in the house with this noise
it's like
happening.
When her mother comes to visit.
And
her daughter, which is Sandra Hüller, who was also in Anatomy of a Fall.
Which I didn't realize until the Oscars. Like, oh shit,
really?
that's right, it's the same person.
Oh, yeah, no,
it just didn't click. It's a German woman, whatever.
Oh wow. So when her mother comes to visit, her mom, in the beginning, is like trying to hold it together, where it's like, oh, you look at this place, you've really done good for yourself.
She's casual too.
Yeah.
But do you notice the one slip up she does that nobody else does?
Oh, the mom?
Yeah, what's the thing the mom does that nobody else does?
She looks out the window.
No. That's not the first thing she does. The first day when she shows up, she mentions Jews. She actually mentions Jews.
Oh.
And mentions a specific Jewish person that was that she bit out. She's like, she was a maid for her, and then later she bit on her curtains when they took her away. She draws attention to it, and she treats that as casual, but in some ways she breaks the rule because you don't talk about it. Because again, before she's not coming and saying we have prisoner clothing. Who wants the prisoners? No one's saying that. No one's mentioning that.
Right.
Yeah. So that's where she fucks up. Is that she acknowledges that it's happening, and that's why she slips later.
Well, yeah, because then she actually looks out the window and gets a good glimpse, like her whole room illuminates red, and
But that's not what does it. That's the night before.
Yeah, that's the night before. Well, maybe I'm over.
No. I'm nitpicking, but it's the that night where she's looking out the window. That's like the first time you show her look. It's like we're like, okay, so she's not okay with this on some level. She's understanding the severity of this, unlike these people, because she brought it up. It's the next night where she's knitting at the table, and the smell comes through the windows.
Oh. Yeah.
And then she has to go, and then that's the one other scene that's in a photo negative is when she goes outside to take the clothing down because the fucking human ashes are coming into the house.
Yeah.
Which,
by the way, there's a scene earlier in the film where the father is out in the river with his two children, and they're all having a great time until all this ash, which is being dumped from Auschwitz, is just being dumped into the river, and they have to get out of there quickly.
Something hits his leg, and he's like, "What's that?" He's like, "Oh, it's a jawbone." Fuck.
Yeah.
Not funny. I shouldn't be laughing, but
no, you
it's
should
dark
not.
humor. It's dark humor. I mean, yeah, and then later I didn't catch it at first when I was like going back over the film. After that, like he's at his desk dictating an order about not picking the flowers properly. And I didn't realize it was a metaphor to speaking over the loudspeaker, telling them, "Don't dump the fucking bodies in the river, you assholes."
Yeah.
I didn't catch it though because it was too subtle of a metaphor. I can imagine the German soldiers like, "Who's picking flowers? What the fuck is going on here? You picking flowers? Fuck." But yeah. So I feel like the reason that the mother taking the blankets down when in the ashes is photo negative along with the little girl is because that shows both of them are acknowledging and reacting because no one else in the film reacts to any of this, and that's the whole point. You don't acknowledge it; it's not there. And so that's what the brilliant film. I also like the reason I cringed at PG-13. You mentioned it was PG-13.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Before we started recording. Yeah, I didn't know either. And of course it's PG-13. They were just killing people here. There's no big. And I guess I understand why they said it's PG-13. And but what the reason I cringed at that was there's that one scene where the young kid, obviously he's younger than 13, so, but the young kid's in the bedroom playing with his soldiers. Then outside they're drowning a prisoner because he stole an apple, or he was fighting over one of the apples the girl left.
They said go drown him in the river. Like you could hear it clearly.
Drown him in the river. And so the kid's listening. And at one point he gets up and like looks out the window. And then when he walks away, and like I was like, like, how do you make it even more devastating? So as the kid walks away, he just mutters, "Don't do that again." And it's like, oh wow. And did you catch the other scene with the older son?
Yeah, is that the one where he's sitting outside?
The younger child's playing, and the older son, who's in his like not Nazi uniform, not like
right.
I guess
he's in uniform of some sort of uniform.
Yeah, it's somewhere between Nazi Hitler Youth and the actual Nazis, like some ROTC German thing. But so the other younger kid's playing, and out of nowhere he just grabs him and locks him in the greenhouse.
That's right. Yes, and
and
he's laughing, and then the kid is screaming.
Not laughing. No, he's not laughing. He's sitting there with that rictus grin on his face. It was like he wasn't laughing. His face was just contorted into that smile. It was like a Joker smile, like chemicals were involved, like arsenic kind of smile. It was a fucking bad smile.
It's not good.
No, that was not good. Yeah. So, I mean, so you document like the decay of these kids because, and this is after again, I'm sure you were laughing as much as I was when the Haas finds out they're transferring him, and he tells the wife, she's like, "Well, we're not leaving Auschwitz. This is our home."
Yeah.
The kids are thriving here. And then like, and that scene's like a little later. They don't put it right after it because that would be too ham hock. But I mean, later on you get this, oh yeah, these kids are fucking thriving. Jesus. She's probably the most detestable person. I mean, more so than Haas.
Yeah, well, at one point she talks to the maid. She said, my husband, he's in charge over there. Maybe I'll allow him to spread your ashes over into the river or like into the woods.
She wasn't as nice as that. Yeah, but that's near the end where she's concerned about. It's either after he's left.
It was after her mother left.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She was angry that her mom left, so she was taking it out on the help.
Yeah, because she leaves without telling anybody, and after the night of the ashes, and she leaves a note, and the wife and the mother reads, and the wife reads the note, and we don't know what it is, but she doesn't react, but she throws it in the fire.
Right.
And after that, like she's just like, and they show her like when she gets angry, she takes it out on the help, and that was one where she's like, yeah, I can have my husband kill you and spread your ashes over the fucking ocean. Yeah. Just purely out of spite.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But then of course you also got Haas calling his wife from the big gala. And he's like, oh, I can't even concentrate because I was going over in my head how I would gas the people in this room. He's so good at his job. He's dedicated to his job.
Always thinking. Then he goes and he has sex with the help, which was a common thing.
Oh,
back.
Not help. Well, not the help. I think she was sent in. I mean, she was the help, but she was the sex help. She wasn't just like a maid.
She was at the headquarters, right? No,
she was.
Was it at the headquarters?
Yes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, because then after that, he goes into the bathroom and he washes his whole whole area.
Yeah,
down.
he goes to like the tunnels underneath and goes to this like utility bathroom. And yeah, that was like, for me, I was like, you want to show the banality of evil? Watching this Nazi wash his dick in the sink after fucking some random chick so the wife doesn't find out. That's the banality of evil right there. Yeah. And I have a confession to make. So as I'm watching this film and as I'm thinking about it days later, that phrase keeps going through my head, banality of evil. It's an old phrase that's familiar. And the whole idea, it's just the most evil is like the ambivalence showed by these people in the face of all this tragedy. I didn't read a lot of reviews, but I just glanced through some reviews. And of course, I hit one interview with Spielberg or a blurb with Spielberg. And what does he say? Well, I think it really approaches the banality of evil. I was like, fuck, Spielberg said it. God damn it. Of course, it like that. Oh, you know what I liked about that article is it said Spielberg thinks that this is the best film made about the Holocaust since his own Schindler's List. Oh, of course he thinks since his, the fucking asshole. If he had a fucking spine, he'd say it was better than Schindler's List because it is.
Come on.
No, seriously, dead serious. This is better. Fuck Schindler's List. Overhyped
Schindler's
piece of
List is a very good movie.
Fuck that. No, you know my problems with it? I'm not. Is it? Oh, it's in black and white. Ooh. Shut up. This is a film that has real fucking art to it. There's craft behind this. And a Nazi washing his dick in the sink, which I just honestly, this film, I think shows shows the true nature of the true nature of Nazi evil far more than the fucking sniping scene from Schindler's List they always like to show. Yeah, that's horrific. This is fucking, that's nothing compared to this shit. Now,
yes.
What'd you think about the ending?
Oh, with him going down the stairs?
Yeah.
It was interesting because I didn't look it up. I'm like, I should look this up and see what, because that to me probably is a metaphor of some kind.
Well, kind of.
I mean, kind of. I mean, I didn't look it up, but as he's going down the stairs, it's getting darker and darker and darker, and I'm thinking, all right, and he's like throwing up, but
he starts retching, like he's trying to fight the urge to vomit. He stops on two different levels and just like kind of bends over and like kind of like I do in the morning sometimes, just like just like not quite vomiting, but he's got to get it out. Now,
because what happens in the scene, he goes down first and does that, and then it cuts to modern day.
No, hold on.
Okay.
Be more specific. So he goes down a couple of flights, and it's like it's dead. There's nobody there, and on the second or third flight down, he steps into the hall, or I could be a little off on that, but basically he steps into the hallway and looks left and right because he thinks he heard something. And then from there, it cuts abruptly to the Auschwitz Memorial Museum during the morning prep. It starts off with this woman unlocking the door, and that shows them like vacuuming in front of the displays of all the shoes that they took from prisoners and suitcases. And it's dead quiet except for like no talking or anything. All very sterile, static shots, just like the same shots were in the stairwell. And it goes for like a good 5 minutes. 6 minutes, 7 minutes,
3 to 5, something in that.
5 minutes, and then it cuts right back to him in the hallway again, like that's what he heard, and then he just walks away, and then that's it.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, all right, yeah, that's kind of clever, but if you think about it, let's go back to the concept. The film is about it's noise, sound, right?
Yeah.
So this is the only time in the film this character where it's silence. Except maybe when he's washing his dick in the sink because that is underground. But I mean, so he's in his building alone, dead silence. And for me, it is kind of a metaphor because for me, it's so silent that all of a sudden he couldn't stop, like there was nothing blocking the sound of his own head or his like. I mean, you could say conscious, you could say soul, you could say voices, any of that, all that would fit, to pick a side of it. But metaphorically, it was so silent, he could hear the echoes of history in front of him.
Yeah, and I thought it was when he was doing the wretch and all that, and I was like, it's like he can you could foresee as he's getting down closer and it's getting darker and darker and darker. It's just like, the end is coming. That's kind of one of the things
of the film, definitely.
Yes, but also of the Nazi regime and of everything that is leading up to him being transferred and being in charge of another camp and all that. So, and then because I was also when he did it first, I'm like, all right, is he getting sick because he's so close to Auschwitz and breathing in all that ash all the time and whatever else is going up into. I was like, but then they flash forward to modern day and I'm like, okay, he's not sick. It's a metaphor of some kind. So
yeah, but yeah. So he's being alone with your thoughts is the one thing you can't have in that kind of situation, and it's also, but it's because there's even without Auschwitz in the background, ironically, is the only time that he's kind of forced to reflect on what he's doing.
Right.
Maybe. I mean, that's the way I took it. Maybe there's a slight difference, but
I haven't looked it up to see what other people think of.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And also, doesn't matter what the director said because that's how I took it. So that's how it is.
Okay. Until you read something where you're like, oh, that makes sense.
I mean, it's interesting sometimes when directors and writers tell you their intent, but if you have to explain it after the fact, you don't have control over your art. And art is subjective, and you can't control how the audience takes it. So don't let directors tell you you're wrong when you say you don't like their film. Fuck them. That's full of shit. You know what I mean.
Tell me how you really feel.
I get sensitive about that. After Nolan pulled that holier than thou shit, I've been flashback.
You still with that?
Hey, you know what? I brought up my parents. My mother was like, well, he's never made a bad film, has he? So I was like, well, I don't know if I'd say that. And I went through, he's like, oh shit, he's never made a bad film. At the most, he's made 2 films I didn't care for, but they're still great films. I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, I mean, his follow-up to Memento, Insomnia, at the time, I was like, okay, this is all right. Because Memento was so fucking good. But then I revisit Insomnia, and I'm like, this is a pretty good fucking movie.
But that's also a remake of a
French
Norwegian
film, right?
or Swedish film.
Oh, I thought it was French. But yes, it is a remake.
Yeah, he only directed that. That's not writer-director. If you look at writer-director, they're all out of the park. There's not a bad apple in the bunch. So I'm just saying, like, some of the stuff he's saying in interviews are red flags towards the kind of behavior you see from like Peter Jackson these days or fucking Lucas or whoever. Their heads swell.
Well, listen, his acceptance.
I hope I'm wrong.
His acceptance speech for when he won Best Director was very humble. Did not get those vibes that you're talking about right now. So
yep. Well, yeah, because he wrote a speech to be humble. He's a good writer. Seriously. No, I'm serious. He's a good writer. Of course he's going to write a speech where he sounds humble.
Okay.
I'm not usually against him.
I'm not on this train. I'm sorry.
So anyway, Zone of Interest is a great fucking film.
Yes, it
and
is.
You know me, I don't like Holocaust films. This is right up there with Life is Beautiful. As far as like Holocaust films that I think are actually worth watching. Any of those other ones, watch a documentary. But these two, it's an experience.
It's done in such a unique way, and the better the sound system, the better experience you're going to get for real. And like Scott said, if you have headphones, especially if you have like 5.1 surround headphones, I imagine that realistically, you might have like an amazing, if like I have a Sonos system that's really good, I guarantee you're going to get a better experience with headphones because it is so close to your ears. You're going to hear shit that you You could probably watch this 10 times in a normal sound system, and you're going to hear things with headphones that you didn't even realize was there. It's just the way it is. I am definitely going to watch this with headphones.
Oh yeah.
So I actually think the score is a little low.
IMDb has it at 7.5. That's too fucking low.
It is low. It's too low.
What do you think?
I bet it's low like that because of complainers. I don't understand. Why is the first 3 to 5 minutes just a dark screen? There isn't anything happening. It's too slow. I don't understand.
It's definitely not a film for everybody.
Here. Yeah.
No, it's not a film for passive viewers. It's not a film for someone who's not willing to put in the effort. It's true. So you may have a lower. I haven't read the negative reviews. Some may have a point. Who knows? But I definitely agree it's too low.
It's also an A24 film, and history has shown.
I saw that at the end. It was like, of course it's an A24 film.
Well, the thing is, it's like a lot. If you look at A24 films, just go to Rotten Tomatoes. That's a really good contrast for reviews. If you look at A24 films, critics' reviews are usually 80, 90 percentiles, usually very high. Audience score, it's always low. 40, 50, 60%. And
I've watched a couple of YouTube videos about A24 films and like they're all horrible. I've watched the haters for fun.
Well, you know what? Listen. I don't want to insult anyone, but if you don't have the attention span or the intelligence to watch an A24 film with an open mind, then you probably shouldn't be watching films at all.
But to be fair, it's like the same kind of they give the same reviews to A24 films that I would give to like Harlequin romance movies or
Well, you're alone there, but yeah, it's
no, but what you give positive reviews of those films?
Oh no, I thought you were saying you gave. All right, I misheard
you.
I'm saying the
people that give negative reviews to A24 films because they don't like because they're not their speed. It's the same thing as me writing negative reviews for like Harlequin romance films. It's like I'm not their audience to begin with. The people that are complaining about A24 films like that fervently is because they're not A24 film viewers. They're not the kind of people that like those kind of films.
Right. Yet they watch them though and then review them. It's just don't fucking watch them.
You know why I don't complain about Tyler Perry films?
Because you don't watch them.
Because I don't watch them. That's right. And if I watched them, I might complain. Who knows? I don't even know.
I wouldn't complain.
But that's the whole
because
point.
I don't want to fucking watch it. I don't fucking care about Medea and her adventures. I think Tyler Perry is fine. I just don't want to watch his movies.
My point is, like, some people go out of the way to watch films they don't like.
Yeah.
Like us. So shut up.
Sure.
Who do you want to rate this at?
I mean, you can, obviously, I wouldn't go any lower than an 8 on this.
What I want.
Would this be our first 9?
I want to go 10.
You want to go 10 on this?
10. This is a perfect film. Give me a note. I don't think it's too long. I don't think I have no notes on this film.
This is actually, I think, the shortest film out of all the Oscar movies, to be honest.
I rest my case.
Yeah, I was really seriously thinking 9, but you know what?
If you're shy of 10, I'll go 9. I'm not.
Well, here's the thing. I'm trying to think of a reason like why I wouldn't give it a 10.
Yeah, give me a note. Any kind of note.
I would definitely watch it again. I would definitely watch it more than once, more than twice. I would definitely revisit this film. So that's obviously a good sign because, I wouldn't give a movie a 10 that I would never watch again.
So
10.
10.
Because if it's truly, hold on, I'm talking myself into it. So just give me a second here. If I am being honest with myself, I would never give a movie a 10 that I would just never watch again. It's like, say, Gone with the Wind. I think Gone with the Wind is a great film. I've watched it once. I've seen bits and pieces because Mare watches it every year or twice a year. I never need to see that film again. Do I give it a 10? No, I would never give it a 10. I would rewatch this film. I would rewatch it more than once. So, you know what? Give it a 10. I'm good with a 10.
So 10?
Yeah, let's go for a 10.
Okay. All right, 10 it is. Bam. Bam. That's it. That's the 10 films nominated for Best Picture this year. I honestly think it's a detriment that we do this every year. But but you know, it's easier to complain about bad films when you watch what's supposed to be good.
Right.
I guess.
Now
I
I
don't know.
imagine because we gave this a 10, this is the
Mm-hmm.
film that you would have picked to win Best Picture.
Incorrect.
Because, well, you also wanted to give Barbie a 10.
Correct.
So you still are on the Barbie train for that should have won Best Picture.
Correct.
All right, with that, our next episode is going to be an Oscar wrap-up show where we're going to go over the nominees and the winners, but we're going to do it in 30 minutes. So, because nobody ain't got time for all that shit. So, all right, everybody. This is episode 410 of Moviesucktastic. Thank you, as always, for joining us. You can go to our website, our newly designed website at Moviesucktastic.com. I'm going to say that for a few episodes. Newly designed, brand new. Get it now. Blammo. Go to our website at Moviesucktastic.com where you can download, listen, or even watch the show because it will take you right to YouTube. You can go to iTunes and you can listen to the show there as well. You can go to Facebook.com/Moviesucktastic and you see everything we post. You can leave us email at themovieguys@Moviesucktastic.com, or you can call us at 908-514-4470. By the way, that phone number does work because I've been getting a lot of phone calls lately of just static. So it's like, fuck you, China. I know what you're trying to do. I don't like it. So, you can... yeah, that's it. You have any words of wisdom, Mr. Wilson?
I could have my husband spread your ashes across the fields of the beasts.
That's your... Okay. Sure. Let's go with that. Why do you do that?
What's with the Nazis? I don't know.
Weird
Shalom.
haircuts, always.
What?
Said
What?
weird haircuts, always. Like, you remember in The Keep, Gabriel Byrne, that weird Nazi haircut he had?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, it's historically accurate. Just weird.
It's still fucking awkward as yeah, that's a horrible haircut. I love that
Terrible
haircut.
but apparently historically accurate. All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.